Hello everybody. Hi, it's Christian. Welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been a while because it has been a while. My last video was from 8 months ago and I was doing another Spelman Q&A. It's so crazy because today, 4 years ago, or no, tomorrow, 4 years ago, I don't even know. Around this time 4 years ago, I was moving into my freshman dorm, temporary dorm at Spelman, and now I have graduated. I did not share as much of that process with y'all as I imagined myself. I just had this idea like, oh my God, it's gonna be senior season and I'm gonna be posting all of these videos to just show what it's like to be graduating or on your way to graduating from Spelman. It just didn't happen that way. Number one, graduating is a lot. It was a months-long process of just making sure that I was on track, that I had all the classes that I was going to take, trying to secure the honors that I wanted to graduate with, making post-grad decisions. Just a lot going on. I think that any senior can attest to that. I graduated with my Bachelor's of Science degree in biology, magna cum laude. The joy of graduating from college is everything that people said it would be because it just hits different. I know everything that encompassed my Spelman journey. Of course, y'all know fragments from what I've chosen to share. It was a lot. I always say like I don't even have the words now to really express the full magnitude of what my Spelman experience was. So I'll try to put little tidbits here and there as I figure out the flow of what this video will be, because it just feels like a big update for y'all. I've reflected on my highs and lows at multiple points since graduating, and they all hit me differently in different ways. For instance, my social situation. I've always had points in my life that were outlined with more loneliness than others. There were times in college where I wished that I had like a core friend group that was just mine. And of course I have friends and I love the friends that I do have, but I've always kind of identified as like the floater friend. You know, I would go from different circles, but at the end of the day I would find myself alone and by myself. There are multiple factors that contributed to that. One part just being how I am, like not always being the most ambitious with friendships. There was also the aspect of me being in a relationship for like all of college. And I'm not even saying that it's impossible to have like all of the friendships that you aspire to have and be in a long-term relationship. I think that when you're so young, like I was 18, some attachments take precedent. It wasn't until a couple of years into college that I realized like I can't just have this one person be a bulk of my socializing. Like there has to be balance. Last year in particular, I spent a lot of time nurturing my friendships, reestablishing those bonds that have always been there, that have always empowered me, that always made me feel good. I feel like this year and like my last semester of college, I saw the fruits of all of that. When you invest and pour into your friendships, they pour right back into you. Although I was without that relationship, I still felt so full by all of the love and support that was shown to me by my Spelman siblings, by like 1% of Morehouse, and even people I had never met before. Like that was a crazy thing about senior year. I met a lot of people who were in my class who were graduating with me that I had never interacted with before, but I realized how cool they were my last semester of college. I'm just like, what would life be like if I had met you so much sooner? That was one of my favorite parts of just finishing out college, finding new things that had so much potential to be long-term. But the beauty of alumnahood is that it's not done there. Like, you know, we're done with this part of being a student at Spelman and in the AUC, but we have our whole lives ahead of us to really invest in the sisterhood, the siblinghood, the brotherhood, all of these things as alum. But I think the biggest part of senior year was the anxiety and uncertainty of what my life would be like after I was no longer a Spelman student. So, spoiler alert, a gap year is being taken. I did get my admission deferred to the school that I am attending a year from now, a little less than a year from now actually. What relieved me most wasn't even the jump to take that gap year. It was the support that I received after disclosing that I was going to do that, especially from my mom, especially from my friends and like my mentors, just people who have seen getting me through this process, I couldn't ask for anything more. I had that part of my life squared away, like, okay, I'm going to professional school, even though the admissions people were saying not to do anything. When I asked, like, what do people do during gap years? Like, what should I be doing in preparation for this program? She said nothing. She said rest. She said to travel, do whatever, because nursing school is a lot. And I'm just like, what? Something that was really important to me was gaining experience in the healthcare field, which COVID made really difficult. If I'm putting school aside for a little bit, I need to get what I'm looking for. So it's a little wild to kind of like go into a profession like nursing and healthcare in general, just off of a feeling that I should be there, but not exactly having that concrete experience to like solidify this is where I want to be. I did secure something that's in my field that I think will be really good with establishing that foundation in the healthcare world, but getting here, that was a whole nother thing. Well, after I graduated, I kind of sprung into a bunch of transitions. I had an apartment in Atlanta and I was really happy to live on my own or with my roommates. I feel like I really got to know the city more so than I did when I was a student that was on campus, and certainly more than I did when I was at home on online school. I had to transition from that space to another. Honestly, I did not know how I was going to do it. Once I had made that decision to take a gap year, I realized how much time had passed where I could have been solidifying certain things. I can't change the past. I think everything happens how it's supposed to. I can't help that I spent all of that time thinking that I was going to go straight to school. From January to May would have been a perfect time trying to speak with recruiters and submit job applications, doing interviews and stuff, so that I didn't have the summer I had before me where I'm like, okay, I'm not getting refund checks anymore. How am I going to make my own money? Thankfully, my refund checks paid for my apartment, so I never had to worry about that financial responsibility. And so when the question came up, like, okay, where next? Like, certainly, even though I won't be in school, I'll still be in Atlanta and I want to live in Atlanta. But in case y'all haven't heard, rent prices are like crazy, and they were just steadily increasing and increasing and increasing. And so when I was looking at apartments with my roommate, I was just seeing like, oh, I need a job that pays well. Otherwise, I'm running the risk of just living paycheck to paycheck. And that was for an imaginary job. Like, this was a hypothesized job. Like, I didn't even have it secured. Not having that experience in the medical field that so many companies and corporations are looking for, I was really looking at entry-level hourly things. The question of would I be able to afford this and that was already answered. Like, no. I wasn't going to be able to do that. The first transition was moving out of my apartment and then coming back home. Thankfully, I have such supportive parents who've always been like, your first priority is school. So like, I never had to work through college. And even now, just supporting me through this decision to take a gap year, find a job in your field, save your money so that when next year comes around, you'll be good. That decision wasn't as difficult to make. Like, I felt a lot of relief because I had never been so stressed about finances before. Like, I spent the whole summer like, how am I going to pay for this and that? I also have a dog. That's a whole nother responsibility in itself. Moving back home is definitely the more economical option for me, but I was a little disappointed. I do miss Atlanta. It's really a good city. Besides like all of the things that happen, it's a good city to live in. It's very youthful, it's very Black, it's very cultural, and I can't wait to return eventually. Even before the decision to move back home, I was still spending a lot of time job hunting, and that's an experience that I know I will have to go through after this, but like, not for a long time do I wish to submit another job application, to submit my resume anywhere, to do any of that, just to, make myself appealing to an employer, because it was such a draining process. I don't know how many applications I submitted. It was a lot. It was to a point where I'm just like, okay, I did not feel prepared for this part of my life. I prayed consistently, but like, I wanted to have like an overarching thing, because there was a lot of things that I wanted besides a job. My number one word was abundance. I wanted abundance financially, and I wanted abundance in happiness. I wanted abundance and confidence and security. And so abundance came. I was left with choices. Not even 2 weeks before that, I had nothing. I had no correspondence. So I accepted one of the jobs. This week was my first week, and it's a lot, but I'm getting the hang of it. I'm surrounded by very helpful people. I'm just looking forward to what the future will look like. I feel like I've learned a life's worth of lessons in the few short months after graduating college, and I'm sure that's the case for many people who have just made that transition out of undergraduate. There were a lot of opportunities to take pity on myself. Some moments I did. I have honestly learned to embrace my hardships and to embrace my journey because I know that I'll be that much wiser coming out of it. I think I've caught myself and y'all up. I just wanted to give an update on, how my last leg of college went, how life immediately after college has been going, and hopefully this gap year will be something that I share more with y'all. It was just a matter of me doing exactly this, just sitting down and starting the video. I'm so happy I did. I love my institution. I've enjoyed making the videos that I've made. I'm so happy that they have helped people in the ways that they have. I love the conversations that I had in person, over social media. I, of course, would like that to continue. My Spelman chapter is closed. I don't know how much of my content will be centered around that experience, but I am still always open to answering questions, having conversations, helping in any way I can. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I hope that y'all are staying safe, and until my next video, I will see you later. Bye.